Most business websites are failing, not because they don't look nice, because they don't work. You could have the best product, the best service, but if your website isn't doing its job, it is costing you money. And with approximately 60% of new businesses failing within the first 3 years, you're going to want to know why most websites fail and the fixes that you can do to change everything.
Activate.
The Billboard Test. Imagine your website is a billboard on a busy street. Now you have 3 seconds to capture someone's attention. Just 3. Most websites fail the Billboard Test. They either overwhelm visitors with too much information or really unclear messaging, or use a design that doesn't guide potential customers where they need to go. Let's have a look at some examples.
This first example is a quick business website I just made. Now, as you can see, everything is a little vague. There isn't any clear direction, there's no call to actions, there's no buttons, there's no navigation, there's no explanation to any of the services. Even the copy itself doesn't lead me anywhere. When you compare it to something like this, we have much more concise copy with a very clear call to action telling us to get a free consultation. On the second module, we have a clear subheading that tells us what they do and a link to the services. And the services have now been reorganized into 3 neat boxes with very clear CTAs to find out more going to their respective pages. We then finish with a less ambiguous tagline at the bottom of the page, reaffirming the CTA at the top by getting a free consultation.
Within the first 3 seconds, I know what they do, what they want me to do, and where to go get it. Your website needs one clear message. If an outsider to your industry can't figure out what you do in 3 seconds, it's time for a rethink.
In the computer. It's so simple.
The traffic trap. Now, a lot of businesses come to us at Transform and they say, we need more visitors, we need more clicks, we need more sales. And we say, traffic is meaningless unless we can convert those visitors into customers. So as a business owner, you would much prefer you'd have 500 people that visit your website, but they all buy something, than 10,000 that don't. Now, why aren't those visitors becoming customers? First one is poor UX, or poor user experience. Do the buttons work? How many clicks does it take me to find my product, add it to the cart and pay for it? How easy is it to find your contact page? How easy is it to find your telephone number? All of these little things matter. Slow load speed. Now this affects a lot of people. Generally people cheap out on the service side and end up with a bit of a slow website, or they poorly manage the assets on the website. So they've got really big pictures, really big videos, and that slows everything down for the customer. If you're a business that relies on huge amounts of products and your customers are encouraged to browse the website, then that website should be able to browse with them. You should flex to their curiosity. In 2024, there was a study that suggested that 40% of visitors leave a website if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. So not long. Confusing navigation. Is it easy for your customers to find products, to find key products, flagship products? Is it easy for a customer to lose an item because you have too many categories? Is key information that a customer wants to know in a logical place for them to find it? These 3 things are quite a problem if they're not managed effectively. So, before we try and just aimlessly drive traffic to the website, focus on conversion optimization to make it easier for people who have found your website to become customers. The SEO myth. Sorry for the scare, SEO isn't dead. However, most businesses are doing it wrong. What a lot of experts online tend to tell you is that you need to trick Google. And in fact, you just need to help your customers. Because at the core of it, a search engine is there to help people find answers to their questions. Not just show them websites that feature a keyword a whole bunch.
It's a jackal! It looks like a jackal! 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 It's a jackal! Jackal!
Time!
It wasn't right the first time you said it. Why the hell would it be right the next 10 times?
So how do we combat this? First of all, write for humans. In a world where people are using ChatGPT and AI to write even basic emails, a human-centric writing tone is going to be so important to your business. Then optimize for search intent. Put yourself in the shoes of your customer. How would they search for your product or service? Is it location-based? Do people, instead of looking for your service, do they look for ways of fixing their problem? And then how would they articulate all of those issues? This creates your little SEO super potion.
They'd all laugh at me if they knew what I was trying to do. To create a new strain of superwine in half an hour with a fraction of nature's resources and a fool for an assistant.
You can also use third-party services like SEMrush to maybe search for keywords or key phrases. However, it is important that you as a business owner think about those things as well, because you probably know your customers better than they do. And the last one is more for the web builders on your team, but you need to make it scannable. Google likes a well-formatted page with proper hierarchy of headings and subheadings, really neat copy, beautiful bullet points if needed, so that it can scan the whole page really effectively. Now, the easier it is to scan, the more likely it is to show your results. This is just a gentle housekeeping tip, but keep it in mind. So, SEO isn't just about stuffing keywords, it's about answering your customers' problems. The dead end mistake. A lot of problem websites end up leaving visitors at a dead end. There's no clear next step, there's no call to action, the customer doesn't know what to do, so they go on a new tab. 88% of online consumers are less likely to return to a site after a bad experience. And in those bad experiences included bad design. And with all of your competitors just one click away on another tab, you'll need to fix this soon. So what can we do to fix this? The most obvious ones that we see are no clear call to action. It can be as simple as a contact us, call us for help, email us here, message us today, add to cart, buy now, download PDF. All of these are call to actions. But if you don't have them in the place that people expect them to be, or if you don't even have them at all, your customers will just end up at the end of a street with nowhere to go. And on the other hand, we've seen it the other way, where a client comes in and says they're not getting a lot of conversions, and we look at their site and we think there's probably 10 buttons and they all go to different directions and none of the journey is defined. Generally speaking, customers hate too much choice at the end of their journey. Consider the funnel method. We see the whole site, what they kind of like, what they really like, sale. And finally, there's no clear journey mapped out. They haven't thought about how a customer looks and travels around their website. What do? Do they go to the home first and then categories? Do they go straight to the categories? Do they go on the products page first? Do some people read about the company first in detail? Do some people just want to look at the team? You can use Google Search Console for this, and it shows you how customers are using your website. But you either need to shift to them or curate a journey that's really well defined for them. So, to avoid the dead end mistake, less is more. Guide your visitors and don't overwhelm them. The trust factor. People don't trust websites that feel fake. In a study, 19% of users abandoned their shopping carts because they don't trust the website. Now, what do I mean when I say fake? Well, it's a little hard to quantify. But we've all been on a website where you're browsing and then halfway through you're kind of going, is this a real company? It kind of looks a bit off. Are they going to steal my credit card details? Once you introduce doubts, you lose trust. Here are some things that can help you raise that level of trust. Customer testimonials. Now, this is a double-edged sword here because it involves you actually being good as a company. But you can use a number of third-party review sites like Trustpilot, Google, these sorts of things, where customers can leave genuine, independent reviews. You can use a plugin to show them on your website for the entire world to see. Now, some people curate these and only show the good ones. That's a little bit fixing the deck there. Now, as I said, this is a double-edged sword because you, in fact, as a company need to be very good. So if you're not very good and you don't have a level of service, this won't work. It's important to leave all of the reviews on, not just the good ones. One, because it keeps you honest as a company. And two, it verifies psychologically to people that there is, ups and downs. Now, Not every company is going to be perfect 5 stars every single time. And those little slight inconsistencies, I'm talking 5 and 4 stars, help show a potential customer that you are in fact real and heightens their level of trust. The next is show branded proof. If you've worked with some major companies or major brands or had some really interesting partnerships in the back, put them on the site to see, have their logos in prominence, but also make them clickable so those partnerships can be verified. Remember, everybody can find a logo on Google, so it's up to you to prove that you did what you did. The next is highlighting security features. Now, this is more for our e-commerce sort of websites. However, there are different security standards and accreditations across different industries, but if you have them, show them in prominence and please use the high-res logos. It incites more trust when people can see that you put the effort into showing how much you value those accreditations. Trust sells. Make sure your website feels real.
At least I'll always have her bracelet. What do you think it's worth?
It's fake, man.
So there we go, there is my business website fails. Good news though, they are all fixable. It's not a lost cause, just a little bit of effort from your part and probably a little bit of budget to get it all going. But I promise you the reward will be substantial. As always, we are transformed, so if you have any questions or want to see the full breakdown of this list, please visit our website below. And that's it, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. That'd be great. Or don't, but probably do though, yeah? Or don't, but do.